Drue leaned down and kissed Summer's cheek, then whispered, "You got this, baby." "I don't know, Drue. I don't think I can. Fuck! Oh my God! Help me!" Siyanna didn't know what to do, so she held her sister's hand and prayed. About an hour and a half later, Summer had fought through the pain and gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. Minutes later, machines connected to Summer went haywire. They whisked her son away and shoved Drue and Siyanna out of the room. Drue sat on the pew next to Siyanna with similar thoughts and feelings. One day, he thought he had it all: a booming career, a beautiful wife, and his first child on the way. At the blink of an eye, it was seemingly all gone. His brother and the woman he chose to spend the rest of his life with were gone. The future he imagined was no longer attainable, leaving him with very little hope and praying things didn't get any worse. When Drue and Drue were 11 years old, their father, Drue Hendrix, was killed while working at a construction site. That was the only time Drue ever recalled feeling anything remotely close to how he currently felt. He questioned whether he could have done something differently on that fateful evening 2 weeks ago, but no scenario he created in his mind would have changed the outcome. Drue's mind drifted to the moment the nightmare began. The doctor had just informed him that Summer was gone. She began to lose blood at such an alarming rate during labor, and by the time the doctors realized it, they couldn't stop the bleeding. His knees weakened when he heard those words, and the gut-wrenching scream that came from him could be heard throughout the hospital. It was so loud, Drue didn't hear Siyanna's screams until she was being put on a gurney and wheeled away. He jumped to his feet and followed them. "What the fuck are you doing? Where are you taking her?" Drue shouted at the doctors. When they ignored him, he picked up his pace and continued to follow them. Once he was close enough, he grabbed one of the doctor's shoulders and demanded his attention. "Where the fuck are you taking her?" he repeated. "Sir, she's in shock and was holding her stomach. We need to get her to a room to make sure she's not in labor." "She can't be," Drue told them. "She's not due for another month." "Sir, please, we need to—" "No, fuck that. You just killed my wife and I'm not about to let you kill her sister too." Drue gripped the sides of the gurney and held it in place while Siyanna groaned from the pain she was experiencing. "Security!" one of the doctors or nurses shouted. Before he could react, Drue was being pulled away from Siyanna by 2 large black men. He wasn't a small man himself, but the 2 men were handling him. Once inside a small room, they tossed him to the floor. "Those motherfuckers killed my wife. I don't trust their asses." "Sir, I understand you're upset, but we need you to calm down," one of them said. "Calm down. If you don't, they're going to call the cops, and you've already had a fucked up night. I don't want to add to it. Please, bruh," the other one added. Considering their words, Drue took a few deep breaths. His cell phone began to vibrate in the pocket of his sweats, gaining his attention. He pulled the phone out and looked at the screen. It was his homie Fred, who was at the football game with Drue. "Oh shit, Drue," he said to himself when he realized he needed to get in contact with his brother. "Fred!" "Yo, Drue," Fred answered. "Drue's gone, man. He's gone." Fred was shouting, and Drue could tell from the tone of his voice that he was or had been crying. "What the hell are you talking about, Fred?" Drue asked, confused. "Gone where?" Fred's words were slow and measured. "During the game, he got into it with some racist-ass white dudes. It got so bad they almost put us out. When we left, we ran into the white dudes in the parking garage, and one of them got in Drue's face again. He swung on Drue and hit him in his face, and before he could defend himself, he was shot in the back, man. One of the other dudes shot Drue in the back, bruh." "Fred, please tell me this is a sick joke. I know you not telling me my brother is dead." "I'm sorry, bruh. I swear to God I am. We called the ambulance, but by the time they got here, it was too late." Drue couldn't believe his ears. He couldn't believe his life. "Drue, come on, son.